well. Hi, Julie. You on?
Hi, good evening.
Hello.
What's Laura's husband's name? I didn't think of it. Hi, Rob.
You're muted.
Okay, so,
Yeah, I answered
think
to
everybody
Rob,
knows.
Bob, Mr. Laura, whatever.
Miss Laura?
Yeah.
That's a new one. I think everybody knows that I'm Sylvia Alexander. I'm the chair of the Education, Libraries, and Cultural Affairs Committee, and I'm starting the meeting now. Last month, I did not have a quorum, so I could not vote on the January meeting. I'd like to have a vote now on it. Do you remember what happened?
Yeah, I read the January. February I was not here. So
Yeah.
January I read the minutes. And
So, all in favor?
all in favor.
Any questions on it? Nothing. Rita, are you on board to
Yes, I
approve the
am.
minutes of January?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. That passes.
You're very
And
welcome.
the February minutes also, that had to do with, I looked at it, I don't remember it. Oh, that was the Horace Mann state vote.
That's all, yes.
How about that? All in favor?
Okay.
Rita?
I
Okay,
think I was, yeah.
okay, so they're taken care of. Okay, I'm going to leave my report. It's very brief, so I'll do it later. The only thing is nobody has shown up for the SAPOS.
Not yet, but they both confirmed today.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. So maybe I should do that. Let's see where I have it. There were just a few new items that I discovered on Chalkboard, which is a computerized education report that delivers every day. And why don't I have it? I have too many papers. I have to say that, I mean, I'll do my report, but I did get a answer from School Construction Authority. They are not joining us tonight. No surprise. And I will collect any questions that anyone has about the Van Cortlandt Motel site. We have not gotten the design yet. And I was told very curtly tonight in an email from the lawyer that always comes with Nicole Holloway, that because they only did an EAS and not an EIS, we're not entitled to have a chance to weigh in on the negative declaration. And if you have looked at the negative declaration, my hair stands on end, because the things that they say are not serious, are serious, and they just say they're going to either put a traffic light here or do something there. Parking is no problem in the neighborhood, which it is, that kind of thing. So I guess we can't fight this one in terms of that, but I will submit questions and, make their life a little more difficult, but they deserve it. Julie has, done a yeoman's job on, turning in, questions. I don't know if she finished the report, but she already has many, many questions, and I will go over that with you because maybe it'll answer some of your questions, or, you know, just whittle it down a little bit more, because she has some of mine in hers, and that's okay. I spent all day organizing this, and I can't find anything. Could you imagine?
If we have questions from reading it, who should we send, who's collecting all the questions?
I'm not quite sure I understand.
Who should she email all her questions to?
To me.
Mhm.
To you?
Send them to me,
Okay.
and I will correlate them, and, I think that many of us will have the same kind of questions,
Okay.
because the information, of course, is standard. So, I just wanted to read to you, how she sent the email. This is from Nicole. I'm looking for the one from the lawyer. Oh, here we go. Just saying that she wasn't coming, and with regard to my question was that, mainly, the negative declaration was completed January 31st, and we did not get it here until March 6th. And I wanted to find out why. And she says, with regard to your question about the comment period, which I thought we had 45 days to comment, for the negative declaration. A negative declaration means that the lead agency, SCA, has studied the environmental impacts and determined that the proposal is not likely to have significant adverse impacts. This means that public hearings and therefore public comments are not required. Public hearings as part of an EIS process are required when the opposite is true. That significant adverse environmental impacts are likely. That was not the case here. Please share any other information. I will answer them. So they're doing exactly what they did at the other site at Visitation, except that a resident near there sued them, and the judge voted in favor of the resident. So they haven't really done anything am I echoing?
I'm muting, person who just came in. There,
Yeah, but
there's two people with phone numbers.
maybe they are SAPO
Well,
applicants.
one of them is Georgia.
Okay, great.
I don't know which one. I think she's the 718. Georgia, is that you on 718?
And this is Julie on the 646. I'm gonna mute my computer because the volume just is not working. Thank you.
Oh,
Okay, so we have taken care of that.
mhm.
As far as the, site is concerned, I think that everybody saw that article in the Riverdale Press, where, one of our former members of the community board, Dan Paternak, came up with a great idea, to put the entrance towards the back so that there could be a bus lane and parking back there. I don't know that they're going to do that, but I will submit it to them and see what they say.
Back is what, Post Road?
Because there's no parking up there. The children will not have any teachers in the classrooms. They're gonna be out looking for spots. So, they don't think that that's a drawback, but, certainly I
But
do.
our other schools in the area don't, 81 and 24 don't have parking either, do they?
No, they have street parking, but that's designated. There are a lot of, there
Are
are,
going to designate, and, create a 7 AM to
4 PM?
4 PM. They're gonna designate 10 spots for DOE only.
oh,
It's already in the document.
mhm.
It's never enough, though.
And also, up there, it's the entrance to the Henry Hudson Parkway. There are many cars that go up that way, and Broadway in general is a through street, so that, I don't know where they mention a publication that they seem to use for all of their decisions. And I think that they have to have it updated because it doesn't reflect what's going on in the neighborhood.
They do not mention anything about construction and if they're gonna block any parking spaces during construction.
I don't know why I can't hear you.
There is no mention about parking spaces, whether they're gonna designate
They're not
parking.
gonna have any parking. They say they did a study, and there are plenty of spaces on the street.
So he's talking about during construction, during the building of the school.
During the
not
building,
during the
they-
operating, but during the building of it.
Are they gonna take parking spots?
Every time they constructed something anywhere in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
the contractors have taken over parking spaces and, DOT permits them to put up no parking construction signs. So I guess that is an issue with DOT. It's definitely a concern and inconvenience. There's a lot of time driving on Broadway during construction, and many of the buildings violated their time. You know, they were supposed to start at 9 and they started at 7, which, made traffic difficult.
Right, so it said on the on the study, actually, it's a very large construction window. It said from 7 AM to 6 PM, Monday through Friday. So could they? take
Possibly
the parking
Saturdays
on
too.
entire- So Saturday was not
No,
on,
they didn't mention it.
Saturday was not on the app. You saw it on the?
Yeah, it is there, that if there is a time-sensitive matter, they will
Oh,
work
really?
on
I didn't see
Saturday.
that,
Yeah.
sorry. It was 181 pages.
They all kinds go and
Yeah.
ask for Saturday
Oh,
and
okay.
Sunday, but that's never the initial point.
Many times when they do that, when they work on Saturdays, it's indoors, when the building is already constructed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's quiet.
But the concern is they broke down the staff, how many construction workers are gonna be there. There's, at some point of time, they're gonna have 80 construction workers at the site.
They don't have the building design yet.
They have no
The
information.
breakdown, yeah.
Published the building design.
In fact, someone called me and wanted to know what they were doing. Behind the building, there's a little strip of land, and, we don't know what they're gonna use that for. It's not where the playground is supposed to be, but we haven't gotten any designs whatsoever. So according to this report, sometimes they say it's 5 stories, and sometimes they say it's 6.
They do have a drawing. They do have a drawing where the playground is going to be, where the dining area is going to be.
The drawing is really of the motel, which, butts, Broadway.
There was a drawing on this document which marked
The
was,
building is not on any diagram that I saw.
I think that's a site plan,
yeah, something, yeah.
which is, if I remember it, kind of the footprint of an anticipated building and what's going to be outside, but I don't think it's finalized.
No, that, we don't have anything yet. They will come, in the report, they mention the, 547, students, seats. They have like a template of what that's going to look like.
So I saw the template, and this has nothing to do with the construction, so feel free to pass the question along. But for me, I was, as a early childhood person, I'm confused because we actually don't, they talk about having pre-kindergarten in the building. So I wondered two questions. One was, the city offers both free universal threes and universal pre-K, but they're only talking about pre-kindergarten. So that was confusing to me, as well as there are no, in our community board area, there are no public schools with pre-K in the building. They're all, pre-K and pre-K are only found in what are called community-based organizations. So to me, they're changing the current model of the district and the neighborhood.
There are schools in District 10 with pre-K. I know
There are
that
district-
81, 24 don't have pre-K, and I know that.
But not
they
just
would-
81 and 24, 20, PS7 doesn't have it. I don't think any schools in district, in the community board,
I think those
they
are,
have them.
the, organizations that have those, because that
The
is a
community-based
federal
organizations
program.
have them.
When they,
Mm-hmm.
I was principal of an
Uh-huh.
elementary school, and we had pre-K, we got pre-K seats.
Mhm.
But, it was never a promise, and they would, often move
Mhm.
them out, and it was based on the need for kindergarten through, in my case, sixth grade seats.
Mhm.
And the decision to off-site it into community-based organizations was to be able to provide the seats and not additionally overcrowd the schools, and Sylvia knows how. My son went to PS 81, and in his entire public school career, he was never in a school that wasn't 10 to 20% over cap. But I'm here representing the Broadway Community Alliance, and we are very much in favor of having the school on a number of reasons. One is that it's one of the few times where the city is being proactive. We have a lot of building going on, a lot of young families moving on. We're going to have a lot of need for school seats, and this is an opportunity to provide the school seats. And the second thing is, land is very expensive. And the model in District 10, my school and a lot of the others, is to build on land that the city owns, in many cases schoolyards. This gives you an opportunity for a freestanding school that will serve the neighborhood and the community. And one of the differences here in terms of the parking and the family parking, like that article that mentioned the charter schools, these are youngsters who will be from the community and who will be zoned to the school, and I would anticipate that many of the families are going to walk their children to school. Different from the charter school, which is not a zoned school, and the families come from a great distance, and so it creates more of a traffic issue around the charter school. It's kind of the apples and oranges. Every school in the city of New York has a traffic problem in the morning and the afternoon. I live near 81, we have Neighborhood House. Y is interesting because they have the space to conduct the cars around.
I used to be the early childhood director at the Y.
Oh, you are?
I was,
Oh.
for 7 years.
Really? I've seen some of the, I saw some of the work that
Mhm.
the kids were doing, and it was spectacular. I was really, very excited by it, but apart from that, SAR, the elementary school, cars go down, cars come up, the high school, Riverdale Country School, all of the schools.
They all have double parking.
Have a problem
Right.
have children who are coming to school in a car. It is short-lived, and it's not something that I believe requires a draconian situation, especially since, in all likelihood, the parents, very few parents are going to be driving their kids to the school. Teachers always want parking. My entire world was spent around making sure that teachers have parking. But the school is needed. It's needed because it anticipates families coming in. And what it gives the community, and I think the community board, is the opportunity to make sure it's a first-class facility, that it meets the needs of youngsters now and into the next decades. And it's an opportunity that we really should not even consider giving a hard time to.
Well, I don't think we're giving them a hard time.
Oh, by the way, I am the bête noire of the School Construction Authority. They have a picture of me on a dartboard. My school, which opened in 1999, is still not complete. The HVAC is not complete. Bigger issue to me than the parking is to make sure the air works in the school. But it is, I think it is an absolute gift to the community that the land is available and it doesn't become too expensive and somebody doesn't decide to snatch it up for a building or a facility that's not a school.
Right, but I think that what we are here for, as the community board and also as parents and, all that, we want the best thing for our children. I find.
It's a first-class facility with everything a school should have for youngsters.
Right. First of all, they had done away with auditoriums altogether.
I think that's a problem. But
And they won't listen to having it. They convert their gyms into a space when they want to house the children. I remember at 81, there was a situation and the principal put everybody in the auditorium. And that was fine. They were all safe. They were happy. They were showing them cartoons or whatever.
apart from emergencies, yeah, you want to have theater productions, you want to have dance productions, you want to have a first-class opportunity. And just because the state and the city have done away with art and music and all of those wonderful things, doesn't mean that we shouldn't be anticipating, we shouldn't advocate for those situations. Not having an auditorium in school is a disaster.
It is.
And when they built the second building in the Walton Schoolyard, in the 340 Schoolyard, the School Construction Authority told our former city council person the reason why they weren't building an auditorium was because the previous school, 340, had an auditorium. And Mr. Cohen told me that that's why they weren't building an auditorium, and I kind of mentioned that I was the principal of the school.
Well, was it a negative thing that they thought, that they had an auditorium?
They thought, well, they didn't need one in the ancillary
Oh,
building
I
because
see.
they already had one, but they didn't. So I am not a fan.
Certainly, this doesn't have
I'm
an
not a fan
auditorium.
of the School Construction Authority, but we should advocate for the most we can get in both of those facilities. But enough of that. I'm really just here to say that the community, my organization, parents, and everybody that I know is really very anxious to be forward-looking and have a school. Because we anticipate there's going to be a lot of children. And families
No one is
moving in.
against the school. But it has to be done correctly. And they do not have a track record for doing it correctly.
No.
We're going smart, yeah. I know you know, and,
There's so much oversight
it's
that's
so
required.
frustrating.
So much oversight that's required, and, you know, that article in the Riverdale Press, the parents want the school and they're not worried about parking.
Because
The
they're new
editorial-
parents, they don't know.
The editorial was worried about parking, for whatever reason, they were worried about parking, and it's apples and oranges between public school and a charter school, and things work out. We live in the city of New York.
Well, things really don't, work out, because the one down on 231st Street is still having problems with the traffic.
Oh, you mean the charter school?
Yes,
Oh, it's a disaster.
yes,
It's a big difference because all of those youngsters are coming from outside the area.
right. And this situation, this site, I mean, just to go back to the nitty-gritty of it, we have to, approve a site for a school without knowing anything about what they're going to do. Okay? And that goes to the council, and the council person voted for it.
Yeah, the council has approved it, the community board has approved it, and I totally agree with you.
But we, for forced to approve it, because we don't know anything about it, we don't have any design, we don't have any, interest. The visitation, that space got smaller and smaller. We have nothing, in our, pocket that we can fight it. You know, it's being really stuffed down our throats.
I totally agree with you. And I just want to be clear, though, you know, to the community, and that the community organizations are very much in favor of the school.
Well, I understand that, but, I think that we have to be realistic. The community doesn't want another shelter, I understand that. The school is very,
Or an addition of apartments without the infrastructure for the school, and we can go off on the infrastructure like the sewage and all of the other stuff. This is, in my experience, which is like 40 years in District 10, it is most unusual that a school is being built alongside housing, instead of waiting until they have to subdivide classrooms and take over auditoriums and put trailers in the yards. This is pretty nifty, but you're absolutely right. If the school construction authority can charge twice as much as any other developer to build a school that is inferior, they will.
right, and I think that, as far as this particular site is concerned, it's a cookie cutter kind of thing, because the school should not abut Broadway with their, buses, and the,
You mean the public buses?
no, school buses.
School buses are not as likely in that they will only bus special education children.
We don't know who they're going to put in the school.
It's a zoned school.
They have not designed it yet, and DOE does that. School construction does not decree which children are put in the school. So we don't know what's going to happen.
Right, but in terms of busing, after they did away with hazard busing, there were fewer and fewer buses. My understanding is PS7 only has 2 buses now. In terms of the school buses, special education youngsters will often come on buses. But the school busing is not the issue it once was. I mean, I know you understand 24, where they had hazard busing and buses coming from a large area. That's not going to be the case here. 81.
How do you know?
Because the rules are that a youngster above second grade does not get yellow busing. That's just the way it is.
Well, that was like that when my kids were small also. They didn't have it after second grade.
When my son was in school, they had the busing, because 81 was a large zone. They had busing for older children. When 141 took on the 6th grade, graders were bused to 141. But it's not the case now.
141 used the public buses on the Henry Hudson Parkway.
It's not the case now. There are fewer school buses except for youngsters who are handicapped.
You have 3 raised hands.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You have 3 raised hands. just
Oh,
so-
sorry, I wasn't looking in that direction. Rosemary?
Thank you. Can you hear me? Yes, is this good?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, given everything that I've been hearing, I think it's important to say, and Madam Chair, you have said it. If somebody asks a question, doesn't mean they're against the school. Everybody's in favor of this school. That doesn't mean that then you're silenced to speak to any other potential issue that affects the community, okay? That having been, I hope that's clear. Nobody, if somebody has a question, they're not opposed to the school. That's good, okay. Now, the next is process. And like it or not, there is a legal process that goes forward with this. There is an environmental review, and when it is completed, it is given to the city council. Only at that point can the city council have a hearing and adopt it, okay? Not until that is complete. Okay. Now, what were the dates that we got this environmental review? And Madam Chair, I'm not putting you on the spot. We know already
No,
from
no problem.
it came
It was March 6th.
March 6th. The next day was a city council committee hearing. The next day after that, the city council adopted this. So we, the public, had 24 hours to read hundreds of pages of an environmental review before being able to make any statement in front of the city council committee about any concerns or questions we would have. Please, does everybody understand this? We had 1 day. There's something wrong with that. There is something wrong with the way SCA conducts what they do. They had it done in January. We didn't get it until March 6th. The next day was a city council committee hearing, and the day after that, the city council adopted it. If you people are not furious at that, I don't understand, okay? It is wrong. Now, having said that, it's already adopted, okay? So whatever you say will have no impact. The only place your comments or concerns, to the extent you have them, on the environmental review would be before the city council committee. You didn't have a chance to do that. Okay.
Let me correct you, Rosemary.
Go ahead.
Excuse me for interrupting, but we received it on the 6th, and it was voted on at the council on the 7th. There was no day in between.
There is a, and I'll take, the day in between was a committee. A committee has to do it before it goes to the full body. You're absolutely right. The full council adopted it on the 7th. But in between, there was a little land use committee meeting. That's where the hearing is. That's the only place the public can speak on the issue. You are not allowed to speak at a full council meeting. You're not allowed to speak at a full council meeting. Like our board meetings, it's just like our board. We have committees and it goes to the board. You speak at the committees, and if the resolutions are done, it goes to the full board. You're not allowed to speak at the full board. Exactly for the city council. They squeezed in a land use committee meeting the day after they sent to the board office hundreds of pages of an environmental review. That's the only ability we had to comment on this at that public hearing. It's the only public hearing, and that's the only time we had to comment. It infuriates me as a person who loves government, has been in government most of my life. This infuriates me. It is so anti-democratic. Okay, now, because of that, hundreds of pages. I have one question, because this is what you're interested in, Sylvia, right? You have to give a question. You have to give the questions to them. There's no way for me to write this question out, but just looking at the parking section, page 9-29. Again, I will be as short as I possibly can. It says, the faculty and staff will demand 43 spaces. As part of the project, no standing school days will take away another 10. Okay, so you can kind of do math. So you need 43 and you get, so now you're 53 in the hole. Okay. Here is what the environmental review says. God. And if you can figure this out, you're better than I am. The environmental review says the following. Based on that, the overall parking utilization rate would increase to approximately 99% in the 2028 with action condition, with 8 available on-street spaces during the morning peak period only. Do you have any idea what that just said?
No.
That is exactly page 9. That is what they give you 43 is the need. They're taking away 10, and their brilliant conclusion is the following. The overall parking utilization rate would increase to approximately 99% of the 2028 with action condition, with 8 available on-street spaces during the morning peak period only. Do you have any idea what that sentence means? There's my question, okay? And this is what makes me angry, that we didn't have this before to take a look at it. But there's my question, Sylvia. I don't even, and by the way, you shouldn't have to take my question and write it down. Tell them to listen to this YouTube, okay?
Right.
They should be here. They should, because you can't put this question in writing. They should be here to answer that question. Madam Chair, thank you very much. And,
You're very welcome. Thank you.
okay.
Everybody factored in what's going to happen with congestion. I mean, parking is the bête noire of everybody's existence. The city, whatever the planning, they want to do away with on-site parking for all the buildings and everything else. And I would suggest that maybe the DOT revisit what happened on Broadway with the bike lanes and narrowing the lanes, and the DOT eliminated a lot of parking spaces, and perhaps that should be part of the picture, that they return those parking spaces to the neighborhood.
Oh, I don't believe, are you talking on Broadway?
On Broadway, and I don't remember exactly, but I think it was like 18, 19 parking spaces in that area that were eliminated. They gave some back and took more away. So parking is an issue
It was
all over.
25 and they gave back a few.
Okay, thanks. So it's a bigger picture than just what the School Construction Authority can do. You know, bring in DOT. They lie as much as the School Construction Authority.
Well, they're the ones that work with the School Construction Authority. They call them in.
Yeah,
And they come up with these grandiose ideas.
You're absolutely right with all of this.
And they have this CERQ or QR or whatever it is. It's some kind of a handbook, and they always take the percentages out of that book. I would like to know when that was printed.
Last year.
A long time ago.
There's one more raised hand.
Just want to speak. I don't see a hand.
Melissa?
Oh, Melissa. Yes, Melissa.
Hi, everybody. So I'm here representing the library, but I also happen to live like down the block from the proposed site of the school. So forgive me because I don't 100% know the process of how these things work, but I just wanted to ask, I don't remember if it was here or if it was from like a political friend of mine that I heard, but I heard that this school was supposed to be fully special ed. Is that, did I make that up? Okay. Okay, maybe it's
96%.
something. Sorry, go ahead.
I think that all the schools are the same thing with visitation. They have a certain number of
Certain percent.
District 75 children.
Melissa, it's supposed to be, what did we say, 546 seats total?
47, yeah.
I was off by one.
47.
I was off by one, damn it. But it's supposed to be 96 District 75 seats.
Okay. And is there?
Out of those 546, 546?
47.
40, I said 47, she said 46.
No,
Which was, oh, you said 40, fine.
Okay.
The district, actually, the District 75 children require many of the classrooms for special attention. So I don't know what the, the trade-off is there. But of course,
Every school has a District 75 number. In some cases, the District 75 seats don't materialize, in other cases, they do. But you're right, if you're going to have a District 75 component, which this may or may not have, you do need OT, PT, and all of those ancillary services for the youngsters.
yeah.
That's fine. I just wanted to see if that was a rumor or if that was rooted in some reality. And then
Well,
second question, is there a projected completion date for the school?
2028.
2028. Okay, cool. Don't have to worry about that for my son. But okay,
Oh.
thank you.
Yeah. It takes the school construction authority twice as long as any other developer to put a building up. Down in Manhattan, right near the bridge and 225th Street, they put a school there, which is 7 floors, and they did that in like less than a year.
Oh, you mean the charter?
Charter school. Mhm. But the school construction takes 5 years.
So one of the SAPO applicants entered the meeting.
Yes, I see the rabbi,
Great.
right?
He's there.
I don't see him.
Rabbi Shem Tov. Second.
Rabbi Shem Tov, are you here?
Yes.
Oh, there you are.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for being here. Rabbi Shem Tov has 2 SAPO applications. We're just gonna digress for a moment. It actually is the same, the 2, that's the wrong one. Here we go. There are actually 2 SAPO applications. One is for 9 to 4, and then it continues for adults from 4 to 10:30. It will be on West 235th Street between Independence Avenue and Douglas. The
Correct.
rabbi has done this for many, many years. I think it's over 30 years.
Yeah, very good. 31st year.
There you go. And there has not been any real problem with it. And the only thing that I have to ask you, Rabbi, on the portion that is for the adults from 4 to 10:30, it sounds
Yeah.
like you're doing some gambling.
Gambling? No.
Games, that you
No.
are having them play.
Music.
No, not music,
Gambling?
actual game.
No way. No. How did that get in? I don't know. No, we don't do gambling, and we're not going to do gambling. I have no idea how that got in.
It must be Hanukkah. Have, okay. I'm just trying to read where it says that.
This would be in the evening then?
Here we go. This is the morning is for the children from 9 to 4. That is the same as it was before. And the other one, and I can't,
Any gambling? No, it says game operator license.
yeah. No, there's a whole paragraph.
Solicit funds for charitable purposes, is that it?
But it's marked no.
I see yours, I have too many papers. Yeah, exactly.
But that question,
Will your event include solicitation of funds?
No,
Oh, it says no, okay.
Yeah.
And, the games of chance?
no,
No?
no.
It says the carnival games, what are those?
So that says yes, but,
No, they play carnival games. There's no games of chance here. In other words, it's not carnival games as much as it's rides. It's the pony ride, it's the moon bounce. The carnival games are free actually, like they have different whatever, but those are free. It's the giant slide, the moon bounce, and the pony ride that we charge a few dollars each ride.
I don't remember seeing that in last year, so that's why
It's
I'm
been the
bringing
same-
it up.
I know it's been the same thing all the years. I mean, it cost us. This event cost us.
Last
huge
year
amount
was
of
the
money.
first year that you had the adult portion until 7 or 7:30. Now it's until 10:30.
So last year we got it. We had it until 9, and what we're doing is, I mean, we're not getting there at 9 o'clock in the morning. We're not staying until 10:30. The only thing is, we need time to set up. We need time to put things away. So we're not staying. The program is not till 10:30. It's with setup and with putting away things away. It's going to start not exactly 9 o'clock, probably more like 10, 11. But we just want to make sure that we have it in case you want to start early, or in case it takes us an hour and a half to put things away. So we have that time that the street is locked.
Now, may I ask, I'll open it up to other people if they have questions, but, when you have it till 9 o'clock, is that, including, music and, that would be disturbing to the community? Because that's
Yes,
pretty
we do.
late for an event.
Right. So what we do is, like, after 8, they tone down the music. So the music is much lower. And we also go further down the block. So we're nowhere near like the Whitehall or any other building that's nearby. But like 8 o'clock, that's when we tone down the music. It's probably, the whole thing will probably be over, I'd say probably by 8:30 probably. But like during the day, the music is louder, obviously. But once it comes like 7:38, because our families, a lot of our family now, our community that we know, have their little kids, and 7 o'clock to 7:30, they're going to sleep already. So we lower the music then.
Right. And, have you solved the, problem in front of the Spuyten Duyvil Library that they had complained about last year?
No, last year they didn't. They complained about it a couple of years ago. What I normally do is I go in and I meet with the librarian, and we just, work it out where exactly we should put it, how we should put it. We should make sure to leave space to make sure. And what we do is we get a crew of people after the event that they come and clean everything up, get all the dirt, get all the garbage. So the next morning when they open the library, it's totally clean sidewalk.
Aga, is that true? Not that I don't believe you.
Yes,
I don't
yes,
want
sorry,
to
I
pick
get-
on you,
yes,
Rabbi.
yes. We met, yes, correct. Rabbi is right. We had no complaints last year. Everything.
Good.
How are you? I
Hello,
recognize
hi,
you. Peggy. How
Rabbi.
are you?
Yes, yes,
How are you?
yes. Thank you, yes.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Work with him for my time at 24.
No questions? Okay, I'd like to, call it for a vote in terms of, both of them actually, it doesn't really matter. How do you feel? For or against it?
For it.
Rita?
For it.
Okay, so, then it passes, and Rabbi, have a great time.
Thank you.
Enjoy it.
One more thing. I personally like to invite all of you to come. We hope it'll be a beautiful day. It's very nice. Obviously, it's a Jewish event, but really a lot of non-Jews come, and it's open to everybody. Everybody's welcome to come. So I really want to personally invite all of you to come.
Thank you.
Let me ask you one last question.
Oh, no,
according
I knew it.
to
I knew it. I knew it.
No,
Somebody-
everybody has the same, responsibility. It's a wide street, so, it should not be a problem, but do you have a 15-foot, aisle for emergency vehicles if there is an emergency? You set that
They-
aside?
There is, because the side of the street that's closer to BS 24, that side is usually, because, in case police have to go back and forth, they always, let that space is usually, available. Like
Uh-huh,
Sulla had to come on, police had to go, so it wasn't a problem.
good, okay.
All
I'm
right.
done with my questions.
Okay, thank
Good
you.
night.
Not a problem. Have a good night, everybody. Be well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have another one, I don't know,
Right here.
last year, she came late. I think we should,
Right,
I'm not going to pass it without her being here.
Of course not.
Do you want to go back to, the questions for SAA? I guess that the consensus is that we all want the school, like, Rosemary said, and, I guess that we have to just keep our fingers crossed that what they construct will be adequate. Because we have no input whatsoever.
Rosemary's raising her hand too, I'm sorry.
Oh, Aga?
Rosemary.
Oh, Rosemary, sorry.
Unmute Rosemary.
But in addition, Madam Chair, you asked, and I would ask, if you didn't, I think you did, but I would ask, why did they not send us the the negative declaration in January? Why did they hold it back until March 6th, the day before the city council hearing, which was the day before the city council voted it? Why did they hold it back and not send it to us? Please have that as one of the questions, okay? Yes?
I will include it again, however, I read you what Andrea, Bender wrote, that we have no involvement in that at all. They
That
don't
doesn't
talk about dates or anything like that.
That doesn't answer the question.
I
Why
will
did
put
they
it
hold
in.
it back? Okay, that doesn't answer the question. Oh, okay, I gotta go. That drives me nuts. Sorry.
Yeah, and Julie has the same question also, so it definitely will be sent to them and asked. If anybody, has any idea as to, what else I should put down, I'm happy to add it to my list.
Knowing that you get what you should have gotten in advance, being forward thinking, ask them when you will get the design, when they will come forward with the design of the school. Will they do that before it is written in stone? And my hope here is, I know the answer, but just like Rosemary, put the questions out there. You might be able to go to the city council and say, hey, come on, we want the best school possible. Get behind us. Yeah, right.
That's a big question.
I know. The design and the, student population, you won't know until after the school is built. It will be, what's happening.
Until the kids are coming to
Right,
school.
until they walk into the school, yeah.
We have no input whatsoever in that.
You had a great question about the pre-K.
They're saying there's pre-K, they
Pre-K,
listed
which is
pre-K, but
fourth.
they didn't list 3K, which is interesting to me because people that have pre-K programs also have 3K programs.
Because
will send, now that the city's offering free
Most people
threes,
have
they send them to the threes program and stay for the pre-K program.
Mhm.
So like how they intend to fill those seats is interesting to me. It's also interesting to me that that every other pre-K program is in a community-based organization, and this is in a. I mean, listen, that has, right, that has nothing to do with the concept, that's just like an educator question.
Interesting question,
Mhm.
and the projections I saw for the visitation site, and they were so skewed, it was scary, but, to ask for the projections, ask for everything, and maybe you'll get something.
Well, we will
And
have,
the size of the classrooms dictates who's going to be there too.
well, the classrooms have to change, that's a law now.
That size
smaller
changes,
classes.
the class size changes, the size of the rooms doesn't necessarily.
I don't know if they're gonna adhere to that, I don't know what they plan. And we won't know until it's actually there. Because we are not part of the group. We're outsiders.
Actually, no,
Just bring us
because
our
I know
children.
school administrators are not involved either
Hmm.
in the development and the design of the schools.
Were you talking about the size of the classrooms? Is that what you just said?
No, the, attendance in the classrooms.
With attendance?
They had supposed
The
to
class
have
size
smaller,
as opposed to the
smaller
classroom size.
classes in certain grades.
Right.
There was a law, passed that had to be done.
I've been out of the loop for years now.
You
Thank
know,
you.
Questions, will they come before you design? When will they give you the design of the school?
that, is going to be way down the road,
Oh, I know.
according to the, I will ask,
Yeah.
but, that's way down with the visitation also.
Site plan and, Emily, what else? In terms of, in terms of the early childhood, when they talk about pre-K.
Yeah, that was my question, was if they have like 3K and then.
The thing with public school pre-Ks is the children not necessarily permitted to stay in school. Pre-K has a large, catchment, so youngsters can come pretty far afield and attend a school, and they don't necessarily get to
Right,
stay.
there's school choice with pre-K and 3K, you can, the ranking actually you're given priority seating by district, but District 10 is the largest school district in New York City. So you could come from very, very far away
You
to
come from
come.
Fremont Avenue to go
Yeah.
up here, yeah.
Right, it's at the farthest edge of, you would know, the
That's-
furthest,
that-
I don't know the furthest
Fremont
edge.
Avenue is about 306 is on Fremont Avenue, that's 10,
Mhm.
it's really 9, but, you know.
But you would be given the same priority ranking
Mhm.
as someone that lives
down
right
the
on
block,
Broadway. One's not ranked higher than the other.
Lindsay just joined the meeting as well.
Right.
Lindsay? Hello?
Hello.
Hi, we'll, address your, SAPO application.
Great, thank you.
Um,
Sorry that I just had surgery a few days ago and it just completely slipped my mind that it was tonight.
Right. Can you tell us about your event?
Sure. It's essentially like a block party spring festival hosted by Amalgamated Nursery School and extended to the community. We've held it for many, many years with, of course, a break during COVID, but we've had it for at least the last 2 years. So in 2023 and 2022, we were able to hold it. And we just have activities like games and crafts for the kids. We have a park that is privately owned by the co-op there. So some of it takes place in the park, and then we like to close down the street to be able to set up a bounce house and some things that take up more space.
Right, and the street that you're closing is Gale Place between
Yeah.
Orloff Avenue and Van Cortlandt Park South, right?
Yeah, it's just really a one blocked street, going in one direction.
Mm-hmm. And are you going to have, the usual, children's, bouncy house and all that stuff?
Yes, that is our plan. We have been working with All in One Entertainment, and that's who we're doing the booking through now. Hopefully within the next 2 days. Again, I'm sorry, I'm just a little behind because I've had this medical thing. So I'm normally the one who books it, and I just have to finalize with them.
Right, right. Okay.
But we're happy
how
to
many
submit their permit, because I know that there's like the insurance permit that has to go through, and we're happy to submit that when we make the final booking.
Right. How many people do you have coming to your block party?
It's usually, I would say, about 200, but not necessarily all there at the same time. It kind of ebbs and flows throughout the day.
Right. Uh-huh. And, it's always a concern as far as the, aisle for the, emergency vehicles. Do you
Mhm.
adhere to that, the 15-foot?
Yeah, so what we do is we have everything, because again, it's a one-way, one-lane street. We have everything set up on one side of the street, and we set up the bouncy house in this kind of wider area where the street curves, and that leaves the other side of the parking lane kind of available all the way through for that.
Right. Okay, any questions otherwise?
From me?
You got questions? No questions.
No,
Okay, take a vote.
Happy to.
Okay, here with 3 votes. Rita?
I approve of it.
Hmm?
I approve. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, now I do. Okay, Lindsay, it passes. It will be heard and voted on by the community board, and I believe it's the 9th?
The 9th of April.
April, it is the second
early in the month.
Tuesday, yeah.
The second Tuesday of the month.
Okay.
It will be on the agenda. And,
Okay.
have a great, event.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good night.
Night.
Fieldston, ethical culture.
Okay,
I'll put it in right now on here.
libraries. Aga, do you know, if, Rebecca has gotten any information on the budget for me from downtown?
So if you haven't received anything from them directly, my guess is probably not, because they were supposed to email you directly.
Maybe I'll try to call her tomorrow.
Yeah, and
Maybe she
I
can
thought
nudge
Rebecca
them.
would be here tonight, so yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. I haven't received any updates regarding that request, so,
Okay, I'll inquire. Is
okay,
there
thank
anything
you.
you want to tell us about your branch?
Branch is doing great. We, as always, we're so grateful for the support of the community. There are a few exciting things happening in our branch and also across the whole system. Eclipse is coming to New York State, so everyone is excited. April 8th. For us, it's not going to be total, not for the location of New York City, but we're still gonna enjoy it. And every branch received Eclipse glasses. We're not yet allowed to give them away, but each branch received between 500 and 1,000 glasses to share with the community. So we're planning on giving them all away. Specifically, our branch, we're planning on having Eclipse Olympics on Monday, April 8th. We already received permit from the city parks to have it behind the library in the park. So it's going to be an open outdoor activities for families between 2 and 4. So we're hoping to entertain, get as many people as possible, give away remaining of the glasses. We'll be giving them away throughout the week, hopefully, as long as we get permission from the legal department. But we will be giving them away prior to the eclipse, and then the remaining during the Olympics on Monday, April 8th. I think those are the most important updates regarding Spite and Dibble. Again, just wanted to highlight that our branch is the busiest branch in the West Bronx. I just checked the numbers, so I'm proud to say that with the support from the community, we have the highest numbers in visits and checkouts, which I'm very proud of. And again, without the support from our readers and program participation, we wouldn't be there. So very, very grateful for that. No, we're doing great. I mean, we all anticipating the next cut from the budget from the mayor's office, but no updates on that, unfortunately. So again, my apologies, but we should be hearing something soon. The campaign has started. We ask community to sign letters to show mayor that libraries are needed and a central part of each community. And, we're hoping for the best.
Right. I think that I'm putting on my budget from the community board, from my committee, that libraries are so important because they're now threatening to cut largely the after-school programs. I know that you have a lot of students that come in after school, and if the other programs are not available, you'll be inundated with bodies.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I am doing that, and I'm also putting in the 6-day service.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your support.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, one more thing regarding the glasses, just so everyone knows. They free, of course, but we will ask everybody to sign a waiver. So we'll be providing waivers, disclaimers for every person who would like to receive the glasses. So that will be an extra step, not always the most convenient, but we will have to ask everybody. So that will come with the glasses.
Right. Well, that should be very exciting for the children.
Yeah, we're hoping for
eclipse
sunny,
all the
cloudless Monday. We don't want any clouds and sunny skies.
Right, right.
So yeah, thank you so much.
Right. Thank you for being here. As far as my report, there are two things that have happened, which I think that if I had a child in school, I would be very upset. And I don't have a child in school, and I am upset. The deputy chancellor, who works under Chancellor Banks, is leaving. I don't know why she's leaving, but she's leaving. And Chancellor Banks has decided to drop the division, which she was effective in for next year as a top priority to reshape how the city's elementary schools teach reading with the mandated 3 programs that they throw out. And also, she was overhauling high school algebra program. So my issue is Chancellor Banks said that if the mayor does not become, have the mayoral control, he's leaving. I don't think he does anything to start with. I mean, how can you have someone leaving and not replace them in order to educate the children? Just drop the division and you know, do away with it. Now, you're a teacher. You're a teacher. How do you feel about that? I'm not a teacher.
I do believe that there are enough administrators at Tweed to take over anything if they actually had real policies that had a curriculum. And we know how to teach reading, and this is not the way.
You don't need the chancellor.
I think, I don't know whether you need somebody there or not, but there are enough people down at Tweed to take over most of the world. And so many political appointees and so many people.
I hope you're right.
Who understand. It doesn't mean they're going to do the job. They're not doing the job now. But teachers know how to teach reading. They did it in the public schools, and dictating one program or another, they're not going to do it. They need books. We can get rid of libraries, so I guess we don't need books. They need books. They need experiences, they need music, they need art, they need all of these wonderful things in an early childhood program, like I saw up the block there, that are not drill and kill drill. So I don't see it. And I haven't worked in the city since pre-pandemic, so I can't, with all honesty, say that there isn't something good going on there. But I don't think there is.
Well, it disturbed me a great deal.
Oh, I think the concept is an issue.
And the other thing that they're doing is that the SATs are now going to be administered completely digital. And the administrations feel that that's a concern. Like a few weeks ago, snow day, they couldn't even get on. So, they won't even have scores to, you know, further their education in college or whatever it is that they're doing. And the 5th and 8th grade, they are also going to have computer-based exams now. And I know there's someone in my family, a child, and she's not into computers. If you sit her in front of a computer and tell her to take a test, she's going to fail. It's not fair.
You're absolutely right.
What are they thinking?
Educators, teachers are not making these decisions.
I don't know. I think that it puzzles me greatly. And then we come to the budget. The only school that has responded to me is PS 24. And they want their playground rehabilitated. They don't have the rubber surface so that when kids fall down, they get injured, and they need upgrading on equipment, as I understand it. So I'm putting that as my number one request. And then because we have cultural affairs in our title now, I have 3 committees under one umbrella, which is education, libraries, and cultural affairs. I have been working with the Kingsbridge Historical Society and the Edge Hill Church, and I'm very excited that that's a landmark. And they need some money to do repairs on their roof,
Huge amount.
and they're leaking, so I'm putting that in.
Give Nick anything he wants.
I don't know that they're gonna give any money, but maybe an elected official will pick it up. I don't know.
There's a spectacular.
And then the libraries, of course, I will do that for the, after-school program, necessity, and also the 6 days, of a service. So that I'm going to submit. And we're not going to have a meeting in April, so is that okay with everybody?
Works for me.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, unless you have something else that you want to bring up, which I encourage you to do if you have any concerns.
Auditorium is at PS 24, that already got funding? PS 24 auditorium need work, right? Auditorium at PS 24.
The auditorium at PS 24.
Did it get any, once enough, I
That
got
was
any
last
funding?
year. The councilman, gave money for that, or I think it's the Jeffries, I'm not
Yeah.
sure, one of them.
Got funded, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's done. So, we did the bathrooms. That was Eric. Gave money, I think, 2 years ago. That was well spent. And now, we're trying for the playground. So we'll see if that works. If not, we'll put it on again next year. We won't let them get away with it. And, that's about it. Motion to adjourn? Okay, we are adjourned.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Have good holidays.
To
Take care.
program